This is one of the smallest jobs I've ever taken on. In fact, if I'm honest, I nearly didn't take it at all. There's no dramatic damage here, no major restoration, just the back of a painting and some brown tape. I had a call from a client about this painting. She sounded very elderly and she wasn't happy with how it had been restored before, specifically the back. It had been finished and stapled with a white backing paper or fabric and she didn't like it. She wanted it to look the way it used to. Now, from a practical point of view, this is about as simple as it gets. Remove the backing, maybe replace it, or just tape the edges neatly. The thing was though, the job was over an hour away and an hour back, and you start to wonder, how do you even price for something like this? It's just one of those jobs on paper that doesn't really make sense. But I went anyway, and when she opened the door, I realised very quickly that this wasn't going to be a typical appointment. She was 94 years old, almost blind, almost deaf. When I stepped into the house, she explained this to me and asked if she could take a closer look at me, which she did, and she took 2 steps forward, and she was tiny, and she looked up into my face, and then she seemed satisfied that, yeah, she was quite happy with who I was. So we sat down in the living room with the painting and we looked at it. It was laid out and she had all the documentation about the past restoration. This included before and after photographs and a full description of what the last restorer had done. So the painting had been cleaned, it had been retouched and had a little bit of damage repaired. But the only thing that the lady was concerned about was how it looked from the back with this white fabric on stapled. She was just not happy with it. So I could see that it was stapled and I thought, well, let's try and remove these staples and have a look what we're dealing with. So we removed the white backing paper, and as she looked at it with this large magnifying lens, she said, that looks more like it used to. And then she said something that stuck with me. She said she wanted to give this painting to her nephew when she was gone, and she wanted it to look right, not perfect, just right, the way she remembered it. So we talked about dust getting into the painting from behind and whether it should be sealed again with new brown paper, whether we should cover it. We looked at the photographs of how it originally looked, and she said she didn't want it covered at all. She just wanted it taped up again to seal in the back so that it didn't get any dust. So just taped so that it would look exactly like it had before. So as I was doing this, we carried on talking and I asked her what she had done earlier in her life, and she told me something that I didn't expect. She said, well, I've had 2 lives. I had one as a solicitor's clerk, and I said, oh, what was your second life? She said, no, that was my second life. My first life was much earlier, and I was a dancer, a can-can dancer in the 1960s, and I was just like, wow. And then I looked around the room, and there was photographs of her as a younger self in these fabulous outfits and these professional headshots. She'd travelled, performed, lived a completely different life to the one that I was sitting in now. And I could tell she was immensely proud of everything that she'd done. And it was just great to hear her stories about who she'd danced with and what performers she'd performed with. So we carried on talking, and she said, what are you doing for Easter? When can I get the painting back? And I said, well, I'm going away for Easter. I'm going to Amsterdam. And then once I come back from that, the painting will be ready and I'll come and drop it back off for you. And then she said, oh, I danced for a year in Amsterdam and lived there in the 1960s. And she said, I've got a book upstairs. And I was expecting her to bring, she disappeared, and I was expecting her to bring like a guidebook, a Lonely Planet book on Amsterdam. And when she came downstairs, she had this huge photo album, and it was entitled Amsterdam 1962. And in it was just a whole year of her life documented. Programs, ticket stubs, photographs, headshots, press clippings, notations on photographs of her and her friends and what they'd been up to. And we just spent a really lovely hour going through this book, and she was telling me all the stories of all the places that she danced and who she danced with, and it was just absolutely fabulous. She told me about how the canals froze over and how she would go on trips and they walked across a frozen lake and had to rush back to get on stage for one of her shows. She told me about the houses that she'd lived in, the flats that she'd shared, and the friends that she'd spent that time with. It was just great. And then a few days later I went to Amsterdam, and I couldn't stop thinking about her. Not the painting, but her, the places she might have stood, the stages she might have danced on, and that version of her that existed in those photographs. Before I left the appointment, I said to her jokingly, "Is there anything I can get you from Amsterdam while I'm there?" And she said, "Oh yes, there is." And she went into the kitchen and she pulled out a little spoon from the drawer, and this spoon had 2 little Dutch clogs on the end. Well, there should have been 2, but one was missing. She said, "If you could find one of those, I'd pay you for it. I'd be very grateful." And I said, "Right, okay, I'll have a look and see what I can find." So while we were in Amsterdam, we looked at vintage markets, shops, little second-hand shops and stalls, and we're rummaging through tins of coins and spoons and all sorts of things. We were looking in the gift shops for the tiniest clogs we could find, but unfortunately we couldn't quite find one that matched exactly. So when I drop the painting off, I'll have to let her know that we couldn't actually find that clog. So today, while I'm working on this painting, I'm thinking about my recent trip to Amsterdam. I'm thinking about this lady's life and the adventures that she had as a younger lady. The fact that her mum allowed her to be a dancer because her mum's mum, who was late Victorian, wanted to be a dancer and she wasn't allowed, she wouldn't permit her to do it. So she let her daughter join the dancing troupe, and she was one of the Tiller girls, and she travelled the world and led this very exciting and glamorous life. So today I'm finishing the job. There is no dramatic transformation with this picture. There's no big reveal. It's just careful, honest work, making sure the picture's secure, making sure it looks the way she remembers it, so that when I drop it off, she's happy and I've provided the service that she asked for, which was return the painting to how she remembered it, so that she can pass it on to her nephew when the time comes. So it is probably one of the smallest jobs I've had to do. It's just brown tape, but it means a lot more now. And sometimes these small jobs carry the biggest stories, and I'm so glad that I didn't just put her off or try and say to her, "Why don't you go to a local framer?" I'm so glad that I took the time out and visited this lady and heard this fantastic story that just enriched my whole trip to Amsterdam too. And I think it just made me realise that what's important about these paintings, someone will just come across this painting and it's just an object, but for somebody it's a story, it's a message, it's about what they want to leave behind, and you only realise that when you get involved and take the time to understand why this was so important for that lady to ring me up. It was important for her, and I think she'll be pleased when she gets the painting back. So I'll be sharing more from Amsterdam soon, and I hope you enjoyed the smallest job I've ever done.